keep things moving on to our main topic of today. First main topic of today is called the Homo's American Dichotomy. And I said it right. So it starts with this quote from Mr. Joe Work on Instagram. We're not asking you to shoot them like you shoot us. We're asking you not to shoot us like you don't shoot them. Period. That was the exact feelings. And then we also had a TikTok that was played off of you guys of the, what is it called? These little things called?
Animaniacs.
Animaniacs. And they had the girl, out there, Elizabeth. What's your name? Elizabeth! It says she got sprayed in mace. Anyway, that was one of the things that we looked into. It's just, the topic in general. That was part of the topic, but you guys have to see if you haven't. Hopefully Aaron will put it on our Verse TV page just so you can know what we're talking about. But anyway, the fact is this. There are two Americas. Masses of people already know this fact. We have all seen the freedom fighting, or I call them the Trump thugs or the hoodlums that storm the Capitol, right? Classification is based on which two Americas is based on your experience. But anyway, when might we reach the point that knowledge of these two Americas actually produce the necessary changes to unite the two Americas into one America? What must members from each side of America do to bring this union together? And I'll start with myself. Always been two Americas. It's not just, black and white or, minorities and white. It's just people that believe, the right thing and the good of living life and doing what's good, and people that believe in, money, politics, and certain things that have to do with that, like the people that stormed, the Capitol, those kind of, people, those on side of America by themselves, because there's some black people that believe in what they're saying too. So I feel like ultimately now that we've seen the second America really come to light, a lot of people say things behind closed doors. They say things on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, however, anywhere they can type and say something. They want to speak their mind. But now it's on a whole different level, as we saw them, the foolishness that took place in Washington. And so for me, it's just like, and ultimately for us to be able to come to one, now that we've seen it, we know what's out there, one, be able to recognize it, just in case it's coming your way and you got to run, shoot, or duck or something. And two, being able to have the power to stand up to it and be able to say, hey, look, we don't need to go through that. We're all the same. If I cut you, you cut me, we bleed the same. So being a soldier, saying, look, soldier in this army, let's do it. But also, first and foremost, being able to identify and recognize it. And so that's going to be my it's going to be my 2 cents on that when it comes to the two Americas and how we can bring the two parties into becoming one and all that good stuff. I'm going to go to John B on this one. John B, when it comes to the fact that there are two Americas and we've all seen it, when might we reach a point that the knowledge of these two Americas actually produces necessary changes to unite the two together? What do you think we can do?
Well, let me start off by saying I was calling for their ass to be shot. I feel that it in any other country, it don't matter who you are. If you try to attack the government, you're gonna get shot. And it's just more so prevalent here that we know that if those people that was running up those stairs looked like us, wouldn't have got on the first damn step without a bullet in their ass.
Okay.
So that's number one. For us to, and like you said, it's always been two Americas, but it's just it if you look at it like this, just how we are all two-faced, because the way I talk to you may not be the way that I speak to a client. So what America wants to portray is not necessarily what is going on here. And, we see it in the little bit of every day, getting on the elevator with a white woman and she gets nervous and holds her bag a little tighter. And I probably got more money in my pocket than she got in her whole account. And so, it's the it's always going to be something because you can't eradicate it. Because people think of how they are, people are going to think the way that they want to think, and also we're different. So all people are always going to see there are differences. The thing about it is being acceptive and kind-hearted and being able to understand those differences and not saying that, oh, because you are this color, I don't want you in my neighborhood. That's crazy to me. I live in a building, 5 stories, probably about 100 or so apartments in it. I don't deal with none of them really. You know what I mean? So that doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? So I said the only thing that would bother me is I don't care if they white, black, purple, or green, but if you mess up something in the hallway where it's gonna bring my property value down, then we have a problem. But I don't care what the hell you look like. That's that. I think, and I think once more people get to that, and I applaud exiting President Trump for showing people who showing these, like, fumigating. You know what? I call him the Orkin man. All he did was put that poison down and let them fucking roaches run on out. So we can see them. We can see them now. You know, I think a lot of people got complacent, thinking that, you know, oh, we's free now. But there's still a lot of hate out there. Mm-hmm. And as we clearly saw on the 6th, that it has manifested from this one man. And he wasn't the problem. He was the person that allowed us to see that all of that stuff is still there, no matter how pretty the makeup was on the pig. It was still a pig.
You better come on, talk about it. All right now, John B. Yeah, okay. So, Aaron Mack, talk to me.
You know, it's so interesting because I ask these questions because I don't always have the answer, and I want to hear people dialogue about it to get ideas of how people are thinking about this. While you all were talking, one thing that I thought of as far as this whole storming of the Capitol hoodlum thing, this puts the whole "To America" thing so out front and center, undeniably so. And I feel that this is possibly a very significant potential turning point for us, and that as a country, we can just continue to ignore it, and that'll show that, oh wow, we can really do what the fuck ever we want. And the "To Americas" thing, whatever, people just complain about it, make some YouTube videos here and there, and nothing will happen. Or they can be like, oh wow, this has reached a critical mass that now we do see it. We do see it as so undeniably in our face, the differences, and back to back. Because this summer, you saw the Black Lives Matter thing and what they were met with versus what these people have been met with. And it's such a stark contrast. The only way that you can say, oh, there's nothing to worry about, we're fine, is if you really, really work really hard to just ignore what's obviously there. And if you do so, then that will show that the bar has been lowered even more for us to be ridiculous. But maybe this is the tipping point. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully it's a significant tipping point. and I'm starting to get nasally, so I'm going to drink some water. Sorry.
Don't get dizzy and fall out. Gotcha. Awesome. Cool. So don't do that. So Goldie, talk to me when it comes to this particular topic. When we reach a point where the knowledge of these two Americas actually produce the necessary changes to unite the two Americas into one, what do you think needs to happen on each side to make it happen?
I feel like on each side, we need to be more we need to be more hearing of each other. I feel like a lot of people are set in their ways and it's set with their democracy and set with their what's going on and how they feel. Sometimes it's not always bad to agree with other people and just wave the white flag and come to an agreement as a nation. I feel like, everybody screams USA, but we don't come together as a nation sometimes. It's just like, okay, well, I look at stuff. Some people feel like, oh, well, this should be this way or this should be this way. And if it's not this way, then I don't want to support it. And thinking like that is going to lead to destruction, because as a nation, what will make the nation more powerful is if we come together you don't have to agree all the time on everything, but like coming together, I feel as though it's a lot of racism in this world. Like, I feel like a lot of Trump supporters are racist. And I feel like some of them was waiting for that leader to get in office after Obama left, if that makes sense, because racism still does occur nowadays. It still does. There's still racist people in the world. And it's crazy that some people just get judged by the color of their skin by going out. And, being Black myself, you definitely see, like, the racism that takes on in this nation and in this country, and, how things are different and some people are privileged and stuff. I just think that as a nation, we need to accept one another more and come together more, rather than thinking like, oh, okay, well, because that event that took place at the Capitol, that was just like, that was crazy. And I feel like the officers should have been like they were throwing stuff on the officers and like just going crazy. And I don't know. I feel like the officers should have been more aggressive. And I feel like they would have been if the mob was like majority Black people. Okay. I feel like they would have been more aggressive with the mob. I feel like because the mob was mainly white people and mainly like, because they feel they're not scared of the law enforcement. A lot of white people, not to be discriminatory, but they're not scared of like the police or anything like that, because they feel like, well, we are the police. They feel like they are the police. And I feel like it's definitely a segregation, and it's definitely still racism occur. We need to come together and really accept each other's like opinions and what's the fact of the matter, especially like the Joe Biden being president. There's a lot of Trump supporters that don't agree with Joe Biden being president. And, as a nation, we shouldn't be like that. I feel like as a nation, the votes was in, shit was counted fairly, and deal with it. We're a nation. This is what the outcome is. I feel like some people need to just deal with it and come together as a nation instead of opposing each other and trying to rule and trying to just believe their democracy.
We had to deal with it when Hillary lost. So
exactly. And I feel as though as a nation, it would just make us strong if we came together and deal with more things. We don't have to agree on everything. Everybody's opinionated, but just come to a resolution. And some people don't want to come to a resolution. They say, oh, well, why didn't the person I vote for won? Fuck this, and they thinking like that is what's going to tear this nation apart if we're not on the same page when decisions are made. I feel as though, honestly.